Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a big day for Covington baseball. Not just for the record, not just for the playoff aspirations, but for the community as well. Today is Tommy Garton night here in remembrance of the great Tommy Garton. And then as well, we will be handing out the Eric Workman Award in memory of Eric Workman. To talk about tonight's game, it's a big game for the community, and again, for the Lumberjacks. Covington entering this ball game at 14-20. Charlottesville has clinched their third place playoff spot at 18-16. For the Lumberjacks, moving up from 6th place to 5th place after sweeping the doubleheader in Culpeper yesterday. A win today, and a loss for Harrisonburg on Sunday, a postponed game, as today Covington the only team playing in the league. But a win today and a Harrisonburg loss on Sunday, the game that was supposed to be played today, would mean that those two teams are tied, and then Covington controlling the destiny it would be a tiebreaker battle on Saturday to decide who makes the playoffs in that elusive 4th place spot. It's avoided Covington for the majority of the season, but another hot streak for the Lumberjacks, and we have found our way here. But again, today is not just about a win or a loss, but it is about what has made Covington Covington in the history of the Lumberjacks. We'll take a short break, and when we return, it will not be me, but you will be listening to the field and listening for the Eric Workman Award. Again, fans, today is officially a 6:45 start time, but please stick around as in a short moment the Eric Workman Award will be handed out to a Lumberjacks player who represents what Eric Workman represented in his time as a Covington Lumberjack. Eric Workman was West Virginia State Trooper who was killed after stopping someone in the line of duty, and Eric was also a Lumberjacks player in his time as a collegiate baseball player. Mark Pfeiffer on the field with the microphone. We're going to allow the crowd to be heard, and again, please stick around and listen in for an important award for the community and for the Covington Lumberjacks.
Before we get pregame festivities underway, just an announcement. The $2,500 giveaway will be dispersed throughout 3 innings. We will do a drawing at some point in the second inning for $500. We will also do another $500 drawing at some point in the fifth, and we will give away the big $1,000 prize at some point in the 8th inning. So the second, 5th, and 8th innings, we will be giving away some money. And also in the 4th inning, we will have a giveaway for a recliner that was donated. If you happen to be the winner of the recliner, you will have to claim that at the Old Town Covington office, as we will not give you a certificate to give to you if you win tonight. So if you win the recliner, just report to the Old Town Covington office.
What up, player?
Oh, don't let it go like I did.
Do what?
Let it go.
I don't know about the blessing part. What do you homos do?
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are about to get pregame festivities underway. So if you would direct your attention to the court's center of the infield, we will have Mr. Mark Pfeiffer conducting pregame ceremonies here in a few moments.
Welcome to become a special night here at Casey Field. Special to the Lumberjack family, special to the Eric Workman family. Each year since 2014, the Lumberjacks have presented an award in the memory of a young man named Eric Michael Workman. Eric was a Covington Lumberjack in 2007, where he controlled the outfield right here at Casey Field. Joining me on the field tonight are Eric's parents, George and Connie Workman, Eric's sister, Rebecca King, Eric's nephews, Aiden and Ethan King, Eric's host family when he was here in 2007, Rusty and Teresa Hammond, their sons, Travis and Trip Hammond, and grandsons, Miles and Jack, and they are holding Eric's jersey from here in 2007. Also with us was Eric's coach at West Virginia State University, Lawrence Nesselrod, the sheriff of Allegheny County, Kyle Moore, representing the state police, Trooper Snedden, Burdaddy, Lumberjack head coach Reddy, Lumberjack owner Dizzy Bragg. I'd like to give all those people and the family a round of applause. A native of West Virginia and an All-American baseball player at West Virginia State University, Eric Workman. Right at home. There we go. Right at home here in Covington with his host family, Rusty and Teresa Hammond. On the field, he was consistent. The biggest hit of his Lumberjack career came in the playoffs against Waynesboro. It was a hit that lifted the Lumberjacks to a win that night. Off the field, he loved to hunt and fish, which made him a perfect fit for us right here in the Allegheny Highlands. Following Eric's graduation from West Virginia State, Eric fulfilled his dream of becoming a West Virginia State Trooper, where he was adamant about getting drugs out of his native Clay County and the surrounding areas. Just 1 year and 8 months into his tour as a trooper in August of 2012, Eric and Corporal Marshall Bailey were both shot and killed after making an arrest. Eric was 26 years old. The Workman Award criteria includes hard work, loyalty, leadership, and most of all, putting the team, or whatever the job was, ahead of yourself. They are all traits that Eric represented proudly. It's voted on each year by members of the Lumberjack team. Past winners of the Workman Award, and I know some people in here recognize these names. 2014, Demetrius Moore, two-time winner. Jose Carrera in 2015 and 2016. Nate Schweers in 2017. Kent Rookman in 2018. Matthew Cacciatafaro and Tyler Sanfilippo in 2019. Gabe Starling in 2021, Michael Pavlicek in 2022, Jacob Heath in 2023, Georgie Garcia in 2024, and last year, Clayton Stewart. I am honored today to announce the winner of the 2026 Eric Workman Award. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Bronx, New York, and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, Darius Brown. Presenting the colors tonight, we're fortunate to have members of the Allegheny Sheriff's Department Honor Guard. Would you please stand for our national anthem?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rippling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, if you would direct your attention to the picture ground area, we will have the special ceremonial first pitch by the family members of the late owner, Mr. Tommy Garden. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Ellie, Georgia, Tate, and Max, Garten, and Hank.
Daddy, Daddy. Me?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time. Let's make some noise as we introduce the starting lineup for your Covington Lumberjacks. Batting leadoff, shortstop from University of Cumberland, number 2, Dario Castillo. Batting second in center field, your 2026 Workman Award winner, number 31, Darius Brown. Batting third, left fielder, number 5, from Francis Marion University, Zach Dorlak. Batting cleanup from Charleston Southern, right fielder, number 33, Jan Okendo. Batting fifth, third base from West Oklahoma State College, number 37, Frankie Clark. Batting sixth, second base from Ryder, number 7, Peter Crespo. Batting seventh, first base from Edgar College, number 4, Thomas Prado. DH and batting eighth from Tennessee Wesley, number 12, Jose Alfonso. Batting ninth and catching from Edgar College, number 16, Jake Ambrosio. And on the bump tonight for the Jacks from West Virginia Tech, number 43, Luke Richards. Your Lumberjack coach tonight on this great team.
Thank you to all who tuned in to the pregame ceremony, for the Covington Lumberjacks. If you didn't hear it, that was our PA announcer, Romy, introducing the starting lineup for the Lumberjacks. I'll introduce the starting lineup for the visiting Charlottesville. Tom Sox leading off from Kennesaw State, third baseman Grayson McCullum. Batting second is second baseman from Seminole State, it's Chase Jackson. Batting third, he plays his college ball in the MAC, it's center fielder Tommy Lansness. Batting fourth, he's recently transferred from UVA to VCU. DHing, it's Aiden Harris. Batting fifth and right field tonight from ECU, it's Braden Bachman. Batting 6, also from ECU, it is the first baseman, Luke Craddock. Batting 7th in left field tonight from Shippensburg, it's Lucas Ream. Batting 8th, a late change in the lineup for the Tom Sox. Shortstop from Rutgers, Albert Maldonado Jr. And batting 9th, the catcher from Georgetown, it's Dom Caffarillo. Pitching tonight for your Lumberjacks, if you didn't hear it, it's Luke Richards. Luke in his 3rd season in the VBL, pitching in an incredibly important day for the Lumberjacks. If you didn't hear me talking about it earlier, or maybe you missed the ceremony on the field, today is the day that the Eric Workman Award was presented to center fielder Darius Brown, and then also a day in remembrance of Tommy Garton. Richards from West Virginia Tech. An important start today as the Lumberjacks are currently a game out of 4th place. A 4th place spot that allows the Lumberjacks to make the playoffs.
32 for 35. Oh, he's wearing 35. Okay. What's 32's name?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to be underway right at around the 6:45 marker, which we're aiming at here today. To sum it up, this day has been emotional, and for the Lumberjacks, they hope to shift the emotional tone to something less somber and maybe in an exciting moment to beat a Charlottesville team that has dominated the season series so far. Luke Richards facing Grayson McCullum. His first pitch misses low. It's 1 ball, no strikes to the leadoff man, McCullum. Alluded to the fact that it's been all Charlottesville in the season set. At the moment, they're up 4-1. Grayson McCullum, second pitch swinging. It's a slow chopper out to the shortstop, Daryl Castillo, who fields it cleanly and makes a throw to first base. Thomas Fratto there, and out number 1 to begin today's ball game. Richards most recently threw against Stanton. That was a Stanton game that saw the Braves put up 15 runs in 1 inning. Luke wasn't spared from having a tough inning. He went an inning, surrendered 4 runs on 3 hits. But ultimately, I'm sure if you asked Luke about that, it was something that was inevitable. Luke, not usually a reliever, was tossed into that game to get innings. As Jackson swings on the first pitch, grounds it past Frankie Clark. Castillo's going to have to be quick, and he makes another great play. Daryl Castillo fields the first 2 ground balls of the inning, both resulting in outs. 2 down as Tommy Lanzanis steps in the batter's box. It was a very difficult play for Castillo. First one was just a slow chopper to him. Had plenty of time with the third baseman running, but Chase Jackson, plenty of speed from the right-handed batter's box, managed to chop it past the third baseman, Frankie Clark. Castillo ranging to his right in the hole. Throw off his back foot and makes the play. So 2 down, and now Tommy Lanzanis up in the batter's box. Lefty-lefty battle. The pitch from Richards is a ball, missing low and inside. Richards this season in 25 1/3 innings is a 6.75 ERA, but Luke's been up and down all season long. He's had good starts, he's had bad starts. We hope for a good start here today. 1-0 pitch to Lanzanis is a fastball that catches the inner edge. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Charlottesville team that recently, when I say recent, I mean yesterday, clinched the 3rd place spot in the South Division. They'll be hard luck there until playoffs. Richards' 1-1 pitch is an off-speed that gets a swing and a miss. 2-strike count as Richards looks for his first strikeout of the ball game. This is a Covington team that's fought through a lot this season, a 9-game losing streak. If you see a number like that put up on the board, you assume that this team's been down and out for a while, but they found a way. 1-2 pitch to Lanzanis, an off-speed that's fouled back. We'll stay right here at 1-2. A July that's been very kind to the Lumberjacks. Doubleheader yesterday saw them taking both games against Culpeper. The first game of the series, a 10-0 5-inning run rule. Both games were 7-inning games, and that means the run rule gets pushed up 2 innings. Here's the 1-2 to Lanzanis, again fouled straight back. Lumberjacks, whose pitching staff is a little bit down. was able to rest some guys, including Luke Richards. Richards was scheduled to start the second game of the doubleheader yesterday, but Coach Rennie Tolentino, seeing how they were managing the first game, decided it was better to let Luke go today, and it seems to be the right decision. Another 1-2 to Lansness. Fastball that misses low and away. And I'm sure Coach Tolentino was feeling great about how some of his relievers went, especially in the second game. Rayson Miranda won the majority of the innings, and then Aniel Burbis after that. 2-2 pitch to Lansness, off speed that misses away. After a 1-2 count, it's now full. Quinton Wright started the first game, going 4 innings, and then Danny Perut cleaned up the last inning for him. See who's available today for the Lumberjacks. Now it's Luke Richards, the full count pitch to Lansness. Grounded to the second baseman, Peter Crespo. Runs it towards Fratto. Thomas Fratto over there at first base, and then flips it underhand for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning, all with ground balls. Head to the bottom of the first inning. Lumberjacks look to hit. Head to the bottom of the first. It's 1-2-3 for the Lumberjacks. We'll go quickly through their lineup, leading off the shortstop Dario Castillo, who has been red hot since returning to Covington, batting second. Pronounced today is the Eric Workman Award winner. It's Darius Brown batting third. I'm going to talk a bat that has had some pop in the latter half of this season. Zach Dorlack, major power there, batting fourth. In his very limited time as a Lumberjack, he has been incredibly impactful. It's Jana Quindo batting fifth. He's been here all season long. It's Frankie Clark batting sixth. He had his first home run of the season in yesterday's ball game against Culpeper. It's Peter Crespo batting seventh. First base, Thomas Fratto batting eighth. He's one of the more fun guys to be around. It's Jose Alfonso. And then batting ninth, he's been here all season long too, looking to get hot at the right time. He had a home run in yesterday's ball game as well. It's Jake Ambrosio. Daryl Castillo steps in the batter's box, and he'll face Evan Allwine, the starter today for the Tom Sox. Castillo's batting average sitting just below 400 at 395. The first pitch from Allwine is fouled straight back. Not an easy task today at all for the Lumberjacks, as Evan Allwine has been torturous in his single start this season. It was here at Covington. 7 innings of 2 hits, 7 strikeout baseball. Allwine a VBL All-Star this season. A field that I'm sure has bad memories mixed in the patch as well, as this one's fouled back into the netting by Castillo. No balls, 2 strikes. Allwine, a phenomenal pitcher last year as well for the Tom Sox, but his season was cut short as he got injured here at Casey Field. His start at Casey Field this season, he was pretty good. Castillo lines this one foul over the Charlottesville dugout. It'll stay 0-2. Charlottesville just looking to stay hot heading into playoffs. For the Lumberjacks, it's about fighting to stay alive. For Evan Allwine, of course, it's about putting up big numbers like he did last time he was here. Another 0-2 to Castillo. Misses inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dariel in the season he's had against Charlottesville. He's 1 for 6 with a walk, a double, and 2 strikeouts. 1-2 pitch to Castillo is an off-speed that misses up and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So basically, Charlottesville is the only team that Dario has had any sort of problems against. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Allwine. Fouled into the left-handed batter's box off the foot of Castillo. It's still 2-2. Castillo not only a threat with a bat. Love to see him reach, even if it's just a single, because he'd be chomping at the bit to steal second base and put himself into scoring position. Plenty of speed. Here's another 2-strike pitch from Allwine. Lined out to the shortstop, Maldonado Jr. Picks it on the backhand and makes a strong throw to first to get out number 1. Good play there by Albert Maldonado Jr., who was introduced to us in the starting lineup only about a half an hour before first pitch. Now, of course, it's not like we get starting lineups for opposing teams 12 hours in advance, but we got the lineup card, I'd say, about an hour and a half, maybe an hour before first pitch, and then after realizing that the initial lineup card for Charlottesville had 2 second basemen on it, it was taken down back to Coach Randy Tomlin, and he said, well, we got to change it anyway, as our shortstop for the day had a little tweakage. Darius Brown steps in the batter's box. He looks at a first pitch strike. Darius, on the season against Charlottesville, 2 for 13, similar to Castillo. He's been pretty good against everybody else. Grounds this one foul down the third base line. But for Darius, it's already a big day. The Eric Workman Award winner. And that award represents more than just talent. It represents bringing strength to the team. He's a leader, very kind gentleman. Faces an 0-2 pitch here from Allwine that he's going to chop out to the shortstop Maldonado. Calmly up with it. Throw to first is just in time for out number 2. Both teams identical starts. 2-6-3 groundouts. Zach Dorlag looks to change that here. And Dorlag, let me tell you, after starting a season, a minuscule 1 for 14, that's around a .075 batting average. He's raised that up to 266, but it's not the batting average that I'm here to talk about. Dorlag on the season, 4 total home runs. It was 4 for 6 in Culpeper with a grand slam. First pitch missed away. The second pitch misses away as well. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Dorlag at his JUCO in Southern Florida hit 10 home runs, just didn't get many at-bats at Francis Marion as he watches the fastball away. And it's not because Zach Dorlag was limited in talent in any way, shape, or form. It's because the man ahead of him was the Rawlings National Collegiate Baseball Player of the Year, Charlie Bussey, 10th round draft pick in the most recent draft. Dorlag swinging 3-0, fouls this one off over the right field side. It's 3 balls, 1 strike now. Dorlag is expected to have a big year this season at the D2 school Francis Marion. 3-1 pitch from Allwine. Grounded foul down the third base line. You might wonder what makes Allwine so efficient, because it's not just Covington that he's had a good season against. Overall, Allwine enters this ball game with a 2.25 ERA. It's the walk to strikeout ratio and the ability to create soft contact. That's a 2.25 ERA through 22 innings as well. He's given up 27 hits, but he's only walked 7 batters. Full count pitch to Dorlag. Hit straight up in the air into center field. Backing up is Tommy Lansness. Look for a second that he didn't have a great read on it, but he gets underneath it for out number 3. Head to the top of the second inning. We're knotted up 0 apiece. Welcome back to Casey Field for the top of the second inning between the Covington Lumberjacks and the visiting Charlottesville Tom Sox. Luke Richards back on the mound for his second inning of work. I mentioned in the first inning that it's been an up-and-down season for Luke. Last time out against Stanton, he got hit pretty hard. But his best start of the season actually came against this Charlottesville side. It was on July 2nd. 7 innings of 4-hit, 1-run baseball. That was one of the worst losses of the season for Covington. They entered the 9th inning up 4 runs. Ended up losing in extras 6-5. Aiden Harris steps into the batter's box. You could see him still wearing his UVA helmet. Recently transferred to VCU. Oh, pitch to Harris. Misses low. It's 1 ball, no strikes. For Richards, it's a similar story to most starters in the VBL. Stay around the strike zone, and he's been pretty comfortable. Does have strikeout stuff. He's a guy that has a variety of pitches. Likes to keep batters off balance. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch from Richards. Misses low and away. 2-0. Harris on the season, 13 walks to 18 strikeouts. It's been a great bat for this Charlottesville side. As 2-0 from Richards, misses up and away. 3 balls, no strikes. Richards, one of the more well-rested men in the arsenal that Covington has left of arms. It's important that he's able to stretch this start out. 3-0 to Harris. It's a fastball that is in for strike 1. Aiden Harris in 50 at-bats is 17 for 50. He scored 13 runs. You don't want to let him reach base and have an opportunity to score as a leadoff walk. He checks his swing, and pitch is called a ball, and there's the walk that I just alluded to. Harris has 3 stolen bases on the season. Behind the dish today for the Lumberjacks is Jake Ambrosio. He's thrown out 3 runners. He's allowed 43 to steal the base. Braden Bachman steps into the batter's box. Bachman, similar to Harris, has had a very solid season. Another righty to face the lefty Richards as the 0-0. First pitch swinging, Bachman after a 5-pitch walk. He fouls it out of play down the right side. Bachman, like Harris, has been very crafty in the batter's box. Manages to get hits at a decent rate, 282 batting average, but it's the on-base percentage that's made him valuable for this Tom Sox side. 453, as Richards prepares for an 0-1, giving a couple looks to Harris. Here's the pitch. Grounded quickly to the third baseman, Frankie Clark. Throws to Peter Crespo at second base, but he's unable to get a clean glove on it. Throw was a bit low from Clark, and Crespo may be thinking about the out at first before the out at second. Allows both runners to stay safely. See how that one's scored. For now, it's Braden Bachman at first base and Aiden Harris at second. That'll bring up Luke Craddock. Craddock has 14 RBIs on the season and a great RBI spot here with Aiden Harris at second. Braden Bachman at first, no outs. Richards is grounded up to the shortstop Castillo. He flips to Crespo, throw to first. This time is in time. Unable to turn 1 double play, but how about a double play right after that? That's 24 double plays on the season now for the Lumberjacks. 27 double plays that the Tom Sox have grounded into. We'll go down to 6-4-3 for 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. Quick threat denied here for the Tom Sox, but it's not over yet. Lucas Ream steps into the batter's box. He bats with Aiden Harris at third base. The pitch is low and inside. Ream like Craddock ahead of him. He's been solid with runners in scoring position. 14 RBIs. He's looking to make it 15 and give the Tom Sox the lead here in the top of the second. Richards 1-0. Off-speed that stayed up in the zone, but Ream was out ahead and grounds the foul towards the Charlottesville dugout. 1 ball, 1 strike. How this inning started, it seemed like a good chance for Charlottesville to put the first runs of the game on the board. Double play from Castillo. Now Richards is 1 out away. And he'll get it. No, he won't. It's lined over the head of the first baseman, Fratto. Lucas Ream in a clutch 2-out spot puts the first run on the board. It's now Charlottesville 1, Covington nothing. Lucas Ream an RBI single. It's now 1-0 Charlottesville. We just got word that the error on the play is going to go to Frankie Clark. Albert Maldonado Jr. now steps into the batter's box, swings at the first pitch off speed, strike one. It'll go down as Clark's 5th RBI in the season, and would have been an out with Aiden Harris at second base, so it'll be an unearned run on Richard's stand. The 0-1 is low and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lucas Ream stands at first base. He's stolen 4 bags, but I'd imagine he's wary here with 2 outs as he's also gotten caught twice. Maldonado has only played in 1 game. He's 1 for 3 this season. Richards 1-1. This is way up and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. Maldonado Jr. plays his college ball at Rutgers. Richards ready for a big 2-1 pitch. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Might be a bit difficult to tell from this view, but Maldonado is towering over the majority of the people on the ball field today, standing at 6'5". A scrawny 6'5" build, but plenty of athleticism. He showed it off in the first inning, make a couple of pretty good plays. Richards looking to stop the threat here. Big 2-2 pitch with Lucas Ream at first base. Swing and a miss. Ambrosio collects it. Throw to first base is a little bit off the first base side, but Fratto shifts the body and catches the ball and tags the bag. Charlottesville puts a run up in the top of the second inning. Head to the bottom of the second. Charlottesville 1, Covington nothing. I'll wind back on the mound for the bottom of the second. He gets 4, 5, 6 after a 1-2-3 bottom of the first. Janaquindo leads off, and pretty big inning here for the Lumberjacks. They already trail 1-0, and it's most likely not going to get any easier with Evan Allwine on the mound, so you got to do your damage when you can against Allwine. Janaquindo, a great leadoff hitter to do that as he swings first pitch, pops this up softly to the first baseman. Craddock backs up a couple of steps, makes the play for out number 1. Quindo came into that at bat with a .421 batting average, a .522 on base percentage, and a .632 slug. Unfortunately, it's a one-pitch AB that gets an out for Evan Allwine. Frankie Clark now steps up. Clark made the error that resulted in a run to score for Charlottesville. Takes a first pitch fastball for strike one. Baseball is a tricky sport, and a lot of guys with a lot of different mindsets. Frankie's a guy who's most likely already shrugged the bad throw off and looks to hit here. The 0-1 from Allwine. Off speed taken away. Frankie on the season against Charlottesville is 4 for 15 with 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a 2 double game. 1-1 pitch from Allwine. Off speed that just clips the outer edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Frankie, like a couple of the bats in this Lumberjack order, tough start to the season, but he's really figured it out. 1-2 pitch from Allwine. Clark gets a good read on it and fouls it off. Foul towards the Charlottesville dugout. Clark has walked 22 times. He's only struck out 9. Let's see if that trend holds true here. The 1-2 is off the helmet of Clark, and you wouldn't believe this. Clark in the doubleheader against Culpeper got hit in the head as well. So that's back-to-back games for Frankie Clark. Well, he's got hit in the head by a fastball. Thankfully, it's the helmet side, but it's bad fortune for Frankie Clark as he takes a walk to first base.
Frankie Clark appears TOK. Now brings us with the Jacks. Number 7, Peter Crespo.
Talking to a couple of the guys in the Lumberjacks dugout after that hit by pitch against Culpeper, they said, you know, it actually doesn't hurt that much to get hit in the head depending on how you take it. If you see the ball coming to your head, you just got to kind of angle it to where it's going to deflect off. Clark, not enough time to react, and that one just kind of pretty square. Fortunately, seems okay as Peter Crespo takes ball 1. Pitch missing up and away from Evan Allwine. Crespo had his best game of the season last time out, and he earned a start here today. Against Culpeper in the 2-game set, he was 3 for 7 in total with 2 RBIs, a home run, and a double. Check on Clark over there at first base. He's back in time. Crespo's home run against Culpeper was a long shot, too. Cleared the center field fencing. 1 ball, no strikes. And another check on Clark at first base. And Allwine's smart to check on Clark. He's stolen 9 bags this season, only been caught 1 time. Caffarello behind the plate's been one of the better catchers throwing out runners in the VBL this season. 8 runners caught stealing to 33 stolen bases. The 1-0 pitch to Crespo, way upstairs. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Mentioned how rare it is for Allwine to let up free bases. Rare 2-0 count here to Peter Crespo, who I'm sure is salivating at the chance to get something middle right here. Allwine's 2-0. Upstairs again, 3 balls, no strikes. Crespo only 4 walks on the season, but hasn't had anything close to swing at here. Thomas Fratto looms in the on-deck circle. And with 1 out, Lumberjacks hoping to see 2 men on. 3-0. In for strike 1. Might have been a little bit high, but oftentimes anything close is going to get called for a strike in the 3-0 count. So Crespo steps back in the batter's box to look to do another 3-ball count swing. Allwine readies. Has a 3-1 delivery. Swing and a miss. Fastball blown by Crespo, and now the count goes full. Crespo actually broke his bat at Culpeper, now swinging a bomb bat. Funny enough, bomb bats usually tend to have less pop than the true wooden bats, but Crespo broke his regular wood and then hit a double and a home run with the bomb. Check on Clark at first base, again back in time. Allwine a big payoff pitch here. Wouldn't be surprised if Clark decides to take off, put himself in scoring position, and you hope that Crespo can either walk or put a good swing on a baseball. Allwine's 3-2. Hit high into right field. Backing up is Bachman, circling around right in front of the fencing, and he's going to make the catch maybe a foot off the wall. Peter Crespo just got underneath what would have been his second home run in 2 days. A long out for out number 2, and Evan Allwine looking to clean up what looked to be nearly a dangerous inning for the Lumberjacks. Looks like a rosin bag was just tossed out to Allwine. Coach Randy Tomlin tossing that to him. Randy Tomlin knows a thing or two about pitching, maybe seeing those misses high, thinking that Allwine needs to just have a better grip on the baseball. Frankie Clark's still at first base. Thomas Fratto in the batter's box as this time Clark's up and standing. Allwine, of course, not really letting many runners reach base in the first place. Doesn't let him steal either. Only 8 stolen bases against him on the season. He'll pitch to Fratto. Another pitch missing upstairs. Mentioned how well Allwine pitched here in his lone start at Casey Field this season. 7 innings of no-run baseball. But it's still tricky getting adjusted to the low mound that Casey Field has. 1-0 pitch to Fratto as Clark takes off. Throw down from Caffarillo is in plenty of time. Dom Caffarillo's 9th runner caught stealing on the season is out number 3 here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Another 0 put up on the board by Allwine. We head to the top of the 3rd. Charlottesville leads 1-0. Tom Caffarillo leads off the top of the 3rd inning. Tom Sox lead 1-0 over your Covington Lumberjacks. Luke Richards back on the mound for his 3rd inning of work. Charlottesville put their first run up on the board in the top of the 2nd. That was after a leadoff walk. Richards going to look to find the strike zone. The 9-man in the lineup for the Tom Sox as the first pitch fastball misses away. Caffarillo on the season, a .224 batting average, but .434 on base. 15 walks to 16 strikeouts. Richards looking to throw strikes here as he gets a swing and a miss on an off-speed. 1 ball, 1 strike. Richards has been more successful this season on the road. Pretty decent start here at Casey Field as the 1-1 to Caffarillo is a curveball that catches his own. 1 ball, 2 strikes. For Richards, it's really just about being consistent. In his starts that he hasn't gone long, it's been 1 inning. 1-2 pitch here to Caffarillo, misses away. His last start that he made was against Harrisonburg. He only went 3 innings in that ball game. Luckily, Lumberjacks had his back. Ended up winning that ball game with a come-from-behind victory in the latter half in Harrisonburg. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Caffarillo is a curveball that's grounded right back to Luke Richards. Does a good job to stick out the glove, collects himself, runs over to the first baseman Fratto, makes the underhand toss. For out number 1 here in the top of the 3rd. What you just witnessed isn't very easy. One, Richards had to stick out his glove. That one was hit sharply enough to where it could have easily gotten by Richards. But the second part is usually the harder part for pitchers. They tend to panic sometimes. Richards, a veteran of the game, collected himself and coolly ran over to first, making a good toss at Thomas Fratto for out number 1. Grayson McCollum bats for the second time here. Takes the first pitch off speed for ball 1. Richards in his 3rd season in the VBL. Took a year off last season, recovering from Tommy John. 24-23, pitched at Waynesboro. This has been an improved year in the VBL for Richards. 1-0 pitch to McCollum. Misses low. At 24 at Waynesboro, it was a 7.3 ERA. The year before that, a 7 ERA. Richards has made 2 stops in his collegiate career. First at Mary Washington, and now he's at West Virginia Tech. 2 balls, no strikes. McCollum going to line this one into right field. It's past the second baseman Crespo. A 1-out single for Grayson McCollum. That right there is the key for Richards. Keep the ball low in the zone. Don't allow the bats for the Tom Sox to elevate. Their lone run comes on an RBI single from Lucas Ream, and he took a pitch high in the zone right over the first baseman, Tommy Fratto. Richards been low in the zone. He's created ground ball outs. Chase Jackson bets for the second time today. Takes a fastball away. 1 ball, no strikes. Jackson, like McCollum in his first at bat, a 6-3 ground out. Now Richards has to be wary of the speed over there at first base. McCollum, 8 stolen bases. He's only been caught once. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. An off speed that misses inside. 2-0. Jackson on the season, batting under the Mendoza line. He's at 186. Great defender, great athleticism. He's been an electric ball player for this Charlottesville side. Fastball taken away, 3-0. Jackson plays his college ball at Seminole State. That's actually where my high school coach started his collegiate career. Adrian Pullen, who's the head coach of James Wood Baseball. Played at Seminole State and then transferred to George Mason. 3-0 pitch to Jackson, and for strike 1. Jackson looking to be the second man to reach here in the top of the third. First inning was 1-2-3 that saw Jackson ground up to a 6-3. Takes the pitch away, and it's a 1-out walk for Chase Jackson.
Now back at Charlottesville, number 24, Tommy Landsness.
First at second for Tommy Landsness. Landsness hit a soft ground ball to the second baseman Peter Crespo for the last out of the top of the first. Richards would love a ground ball here. On the season, Charlottesville has grounded into 27 double plays. Lumberjacks have turned 24. Oh, pitch to Landsness. Called strike 1. Richards making this start backed by Coach Rennie Tolentino. It's one based on confidence. Richards could have started the second game of the doubleheader yesterday, but Tolentino wanted him to go in the more important home game. A 1 pitch to Landsness, off-speed lined into left field. Zach Dorlag's going to have to make a throw home as Grayson McCollum's coming to the plate. The throw is going to actually hit McCollum. It was a little bit off blind. Second run of the inning, and now Chase Jackson advanced to third base. Fortunate how that one ended up going is looked like McCollum might have been out, but instead the ball just seemed to bounce a little bit to the wrong direction. So now 2-0 the score, runners at the corners and 1 out. Aiden Harris stepping to the plate. He walked in his first AB, and Coach Rennie Tolentino going to walk to the mound and talk to Luke Richards. Three hits so far for the Tom Sox, and all of them just well-hit baseballs. Nothing soft, nothing necessarily hard either, just solid line drives.
First hit, first inning anyway. 3-0-0, 4-8-2-7. 3-0-0, 4-8-2-7. Again, the little ticket of 3-0-0, 4-8-2-7. Please report to the press box. Now down the third was number 44, Aiden Harris.
And Harris steps in the batter's box. Harris 0 for 0 today. Led off the top of the second with a walk. Came in to score. He was the first runner of today's ball game. Richards 0 pitch to Harris. Fastball misses away. Doesn't look like much movement in the Lumberjacks bullpen. The expectation today is for Richards to probably at least go 4 or 5. 1-0 pitch to Harris. Called strike 1, gets the outer edge. Lansness at first has 11 stolen bases. Always harder to steal off the left-handed pitcher. And Lansness took off early. Richards looks him back and throws an off-speed to Harris that he swings and misses on. It's 1-2. Big 2-strike pitch here for Richards. Looking for the second out here in the top of the third and inch closer to ending this third inning that's already seen Charlottesville score 1. Here's the 1-2. Fastball that misses low and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lumberjacks need a win today. Still vying in for that 4th place playoff spot. The 2-2 pitch to Harris, swing and a miss. It's going to be a stolen base for Tommy Lansness on the back end of it as Lansness got a good jump. But 2 outs now here in the top of the third. It's a huge strikeout for Richards. It's now an out on the ground or in the air, does not produce a run with Chase Jackson at third base. Braden Bachman grounded into what looked like a potential double play. It ended up being an error that allowed him to reach first and the runner at second stay safe. First pitch to Bachman. Low. 1 ball, no strikes. Richards 1-0 to Bachman. An off speed that is called a ball. Must have missed away. 2-0. Bachman limited in time compared to most of the Tom Sox batters in the lineup today. This is his 48th AB. So pitch to Bachman. Swings at a fastball up and away. It's going to be straight up and out of play down the first base line. Richards hoping that one stayed in play for the third out. Instead, it's the first strike. 2 balls, 1 strike now to Bachman. Plenty of people in attendance today for the penultimate game on the season for the Lumberjacks and their last at home. Unless, of course, a playoff push allows them to play a playoff game at home. That would take a lot of work. 2-1 pitch to Bachman. Swinging a foul tip into the glove of Ambrosio. It's 2-2. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on base. It's Chase Jackson at third. Tommy Lansness at second base. Richard struck out Aiden Harris in front of Bachman, looking to make it back-to-back Ks here. The 2-2 pitch. Off speed that misses way up and away. It's a full count. Big 2-strike pitch here. In the 2 years that the Lumberjacks have played remembrance games for the late Tommy Garton. They're 0-2. In order to have a chance, you got to keep the runs low. Full count pitch with 2 outs is fouled straight back into the fencing. We'll do another. Frankie Clark at regular depth at the third base bag. Dario Castillo at regular depth at short. Everybody else at regular depth as well. All of Charlottesville's hits this ball game have just been lined over somebody's head. Richards looking to keep this pitch low and escape a potential 3rd or 4th run of the inning. Or should I say of the ball game, as it's been back-to-back innings with a run for Charlottesville. They lead currently 2-0. Here's Richards' payoff pitch. An off-speed misses upstairs. Bases are now loaded for Luke Craddock.
Now batting for Charlottesville, number 47, Luke Craddock.
And I'd say the synopsis for this at bat is this is the ball game right here for the Lumberjacks. Of course, anything can happen, but this moment has a lot riding on it. Big difference in heading into an inning down 3 runs versus 2 versus 4. Richards gets the out here. It'll only be 2 as the first pitch is fouled straight back into the fencing.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Jack.
The obvious mentality here for Richards is to keep the score right where it's at. No balls, 1 strike. Craddock, 14 RBIs on the season, the 0-1. Fouled back into the fencing again, it's 0-2. Craddock, his first time up, grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. That was with runners at first and second and no outs in the top of the second inning. Richards in prime position to escape, only allowing 1 run. Ambrosio gives him the sign. Richards comes set. No need to look at any runners with the bases loaded. Here's the 0-2, an off speed that's going to be hit very lightly to the first baseman Fratto. He makes the catch in foul territory, and Luke Richards escapes a bases loaded jam. Not before Charlottesville adds 1. Head to the bottom of the third. It's the Tom Sox 2, Covington nothing. Thomas Fratto made the last out of the top of the third inning. He leads off here in the bottom half. He was swinging as Frankie Clark was on first base. Clark got thrown out at second, so now he leads off the bottom of the third, takes the first pitch off speed up and away for ball 1. Fratto on the season, slowly watching his batting average climb. The 1-0, up and away. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Fratto against Charlottesville on the season. Only 4 ABs. He's 1 for 4 with a ribby. Here's the 2-0 from Allwine, taken for strike 1. Me and Mark Pfeiffer, the scorer for the Lumberjacks, the GM, he really does everything. We were talking in between innings about how today just seems to be everything for the Lumberjacks, a playoff push, all the promos. As Fratto launches this one down the right field line, it's going to tail and foul towards the turtle out there past the Covington bullpen, but important nights. It's the Eric Workman night. Award handed out to Darius Brown, Tommy Garton Remembrance Night, and then Big Alice here. Money's getting given away. There's fireworks. 2-2 pitch to Fratto. Hit pretty well out to center field. Backing up is Tommy Lansness, rounding right before the wall. That one's caught for out number 1. Seen some good swings today from the Lumberjacks. Just a couple of swings that have come up just short. You'd assume that the bats would be pretty hot heading into this ball game. 2 games against Culpeper, it was a 10-0 and 9-4 win. Overall in the month of July, they are scorching hot. Jose Alfonso bats second now, the 0-0. This is away, 1 ball, no strikes. So far, it seems that Evan Allwine just continuing to call on what I'd say is his luck. Lumberjacks just need to find a little bit more of the barrel. When a pitch to Alfonso takes an off-speed away, it's 2-0. Alfonso had his first home run of the season yesterday. Overall at Culpeper, he was 3 for 5 with 6 RBIs. That's with nobody on base here. The 2-0 pitch from Allwine. Fastball taken for strike one. That one seemed to be a little bit high, but Alfonso accepts it for strike one. But Allwine continuing to be dominant. His 2-1 pitch to Alfonso. Hit out into right center field. Giving Chase's Bachman ranging to his right, and he's there for out number 2. Not often that a pitcher is a fly ball pitcher here in Casey Field. He gets treated nicely. We've seen plenty of games this season where a fly ball that doesn't really look like it has enough on it ends up for extra bases. Today, Evan Allwine has pitched to the fly ball, and it's worked out pretty well for him. In fact, his last 5 outs have been in the air. Now Jake Ambrosio bats, takes the first pitch off speed inside. Ambrosio, the last man in the order for the Lumberjacks, through the first 8, no hits. 1-0 pitch to Ambrosio, inside, it's ball 2. Of course, the problem with that no hit in the stat column is the fact that Allwine doesn't really allow people to reach base for free either. 2-0 pitch to Ambrosio, straight up in the air. Looks like Chase Jackson has a read on it at the second base bag. Makes the play in the outfield grass for out number 3. And then Allwine's cruising. 9 up, 9 down. Head at the top of the 4th inning. Charlottesville leads 2-0. Lucas Ream leads off here in the top of the 4th inning. Ream, one of 2 RBIs on the day for the Tom Sox, to lead 2-0. In the top of the 2nd, he singled in Aiden Harris to make it a 1-0 ball game. Richards back out on the mound. His first pitch misses low. So far today for Luke, it's 58 pitches. He's gone 3 innings, allowed 1 earned run, 2 runs in total, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. The key proprietor for him to stay in this ball game is to continue to throw strikes. 1-0 pitch to Ream, lined in left field, another single for the Tom Sox. Now, unfortunately, that statement also brings the fact in that the Tom Sox, when they've been seeing strikes, have been center cut. And that off speed right there hung up pretty high for Lucas Ream, and he tattooed it for a line drive single. But you can't ask too much of Richards. First, you got to get in the strike zone, and then you got to make the adjustment to stay out of the bat path of these Tom Sox batters. Albert Maldonado now in the batter's box. As he takes the first pitch off speed, low and away. Maldonado on 2 strikeouts for Richards. Another first pitch ball and an opportunity for a Tom Sox hitter to swing up in the count. Here's the 1-0. Low and inside, it's 2-0. No movement so far in the Lumberjacks bullpen, and might be a while, as the arms in the Lumberjacks bullpen are pretty taxed. 2 balls, no strikes. Lucas Ream at first base. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 1 strike now as Maldonado swings over top of an off-speed. Great opportunity here for Richards to get the double play. Solid speed at first base. As Ream takes off, throw down from Ambrosio is going to be a little bit off to the left. Ream's in there in plenty of time. Swing and a miss from Maldonado makes it a 2-strike count with now Lucas Ream at second base. Double play now to cut out. Richards most likely looking for the strikeout. He's already got 1 today on Maldonado. From the stretch, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. 2 Ks Maldonado Jr. And 1 down now in the top of the 4th.
With 1 down, that brings us back. Number 26, Tom Caffarillo.
Tom Caffarillo, who led off the top of the 3rd, steps in the batter's box. In an inning that saw a lot of traffic for the Tom Sox, Caffarillo led off with a ground out to Luke Richards. Caffarillo went home run on the season. That came here. Richards 0 to Caffarillo. Fastball that catches the edge for strike 1. One out here. Ream leads off at second base. We can add another run for the Tom Sox, the 0-1. Blocked well by Ambrosio behind the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. We've seen some interesting stat lines put up here at Casey Field. Last time the Lumberjacks were at home, it was 15 runs in the top of the 2nd inning for the Stanton Braves. I'd say that's the wildest stat I've ever seen. Richards looking to avoid something like that. 1-1 pitch. It catches the inner edge to Caffarillo for strike 2. Ambrosio popped up quickly looking to throw behind the runner at second base, but nobody was covering the bag. Home plate umpire called it a strike. It's 1-2. Caffarillo, 16 strikeouts on the season. He's a patient batter, but you can get something by him if you stay around the strike zone. Richards looking to get Caffarillo out for the 2nd time today. Here's the 1-2 pitch. High chopper to the second baseman, Peter Crespo, comes up with it near his chest, makes the throw to first for out number 2.
With 2 down, the line rolls back to the top. Number 27, Grayson McCollum.
That advances Lucas Ream to third base. Now, Grayson McCollum bats for the 3rd time in 4 innings. McCollum today is 1 for 2. He scored in the top of the 3rd after singling. Again, Tom Sox do not have a hit yet that is in the gap or an infield single. It's all about solid contact on pitches middle. First pitch to McCollum misses low. 1 ball, no strikes to the 3rd baseman from Kennesaw State. Here's the 1-0 from Richards. Fouled back out of play. 1-1. Mentioned the progression that Richards has made as a VBL pitcher. It might not be very visible statistically. A 7.3, a 7, and a 6.75 ERA all seem pretty similar, but if you've watched Richards start this season, he's been effective in the games that he's been good, and it hasn't just been 1 game. He's had a few starts that he's really given the Lumberjacks a chance. That fastball is called a strike, and it's 1-2. The reality as of late for the Lumberjacks to give the guys a chance, it's to simply not get blown out. Lumberjacks are hitting 298 in the month of July, but the ERA is up to 7.38. 1-2 pitch. Somehow fouled off by McCollum. He really made sure to stay back on that off speed and just kind of tap it off the home plate. It'll say 1-2. But I mean, if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what does. In June, a month that wasn't necessarily kind of the Lumberjacks, it was a 5.38 ERA, but the bats weren't doing much. Now the Lumberjacks up .064 in the batting average category in the month of July. But it hasn't mattered in some games as the pitching has been pretty bad. The 1-2 pitch. Straight up. Thomas Fratto ranging to his left, and that one's out of play. Another foul ball for McCollum to stay alive. You might wonder what makes that 7.38 ERA even possible, and it's the fact that the Lumberjacks in the month of July have walked 64 batters to 79 strikeouts. A lot of guys reaching via the free pass, and nothing really to separate the free pass from the strikeout. Richards looking for a strikeout here. It'd be his 4th of the ball game. The 1-2 pitch, called strike 3. Off speed that catches the inner edge. Richards works around a leadoff single. And to the bottom of the 4th inning, Charlottesville still leads 2-0. Daryl Castillo leads off here in the bottom of the 4th inning. When you hear that the leadoff man is leading off in the bottom of the 4th, that traditionally means that the pitcher has gone 9 up, 9 down. Evan Allwine has done that, as his first pitch is a fastball that misses away to Daryl Castillo. Allwine at 41 pitches. Pitch count's been pretty low and has been keeping the Lumberjacks off the base pass. The 1-0 to Castillo hit hard in the right field, but too much tail on that baseball. 1-1. And a similar story for Lumberjacks bats. They've been hitting it hard, but it's either been right to somebody or just not enough. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch to Castillo. Off speed, called strike 2. Castillo doesn't necessarily like that call. It's popped out of the glove of Caffarillo, but it looked to perfectly catch the up and in edge. So now a big 2-strike battle for Castillo, who has been the lightning rod for this Lumberjacks offense. 11 runs scored. Love to see him reach base here. The 1-2 pitch from Allwine. Lined into left center field. It's the first hit for the Lumberjacks, and it's probably going to be extra bases. Castillo thinking 2 out of the batter's box to throw in from the center fielder lands, and this is not in time. Dario Castillo, a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Now Darius Brown going to bat with the runner in scoring position. I mean, Castillo has been impressive in the batter's box, to say the least. You never really see him get out of his swing path, and his swing path has been great in the blue and white uniforms. Plenty of line drives, a lot of hard-hit baseballs. That one was tattooed in the left center field, and Castillo able to help himself out, too, as Lantis was shaded more into the left center gap, or excuse me, the right center gap. So now Darius Brown looking to do damage. Evan Allwine from the stretch. The 0 pitch misses low. Darius getting more applause than what might be usual. His pregame, he won the Eric Workman Award, which is an award that represents the life of Eric Workman, who was a West Virginia State Trooper who had his life taken in 2014. He played for the Lumberjacks. The 1-0 pitch to Brown. Misses upstairs, 2-0. Darius isn't just a good person, but he's a great baseball player as well. In 80 at-bats this season, he's 22 for 80, 4 home runs, 7 doubles. Lots of juice in that bat. 2 balls, no strikes. Allwine's pitch. Gonna be grounded to the third baseman, but foul. Initially looked like that one might play in fair territory, but it kind of checked up and skirted towards the third base coaching third base coaching box. So now 2 balls, 1 strike. Great speed at second base in Daryl Castillo. Anything hit to the outfield will likely score him. It's not his run that really matters right now. It's about Darius Brown seeing if he can reach base. The 2-1 pitch. Grounded foul again. I think this at bat kind of showcases how efficient Allwine is with his control. And the strikes that he's thrown in this AB, everything low and away. The scouting report against Darius Brown probably reads, you give him something inside, he's going to turn and burn. A little bit tougher when the pitch is away. Daryl Castillo leads off at second base. Darius Brown awaits a 2-2 pitch from Evan Allwine. Here it comes. A great check swing there from Brown. Did he go? No, he did not. And the count goes full. Great hold from Brown. Confident hold, and now an incredibly important full count pitch. Allwine, no strikeouts through the first 10 batters faced. Also no walks either. Expect something put in play. Here's the payoff pitch from Allwine. Swung lightly up the middle, ranging is Maldonado Jr., but he won't get there. Dario Castillo will score. An RBI single for Darius Brown, and the Lumberjacks cut the lead in half. It's Charlottesville 2, Covington 1. Good piece of hitting there from Darius Brown, battled all the way. Didn't necessarily need to put the hammer on that baseball, just chopped it up the middle, and Maldonado just couldn't get there. So now Zach Dorlag bats with a tying run at first base. Pitch from Allwine. Swung and fouled back off the leg of Caffarello. He pops up a little bit in pain. Good speed at first base, and Darius Brown, he's swiped 14 bags this season. Plenty of pop in the batter's box as well. Already seen 1 extra base hit from Dario Castillo. Dorlag's produced a total of 7. Love to see him put another crooked number up on the scoreboard for the Lumberjacks. Last time these two teams faced off in Charlottesville, it was an 8-4 loss for Covington. But in that game, Zach Dorlag a home run. See if he can add another against Charlottesville. Darius Brown will lead off at first base. Allwine's 0-1. Taken low and away. Nobody warming up in the Covington bullpen. It looks like Luke Richards will be back out for the 5th. One ball, 1 strike. The pitch to Dorlag. Fouled back into the netting. Now 1-2. Dorlag's last game is actually today as he leaves tomorrow, so he won't play in tomorrow's game at JMU. I'd love to see him at another big swing for the Lumberjacks as Darius Brown is back in time. This part of the order recently for Covington has just been scorching. After Dorlag, it's Janiquindo, who's still hitting above 400 on the season. As Darius Brown takes off, a swing and a miss from Dorlag. The throw down is not in time. It actually hits off of Darius Brown. So a strikeout at the plate, but a stolen base for Darius Brown. First strikeout for Allwine comes at the expense of Zach Dorlag, but thankfully for the Lumberjacks, something productive still happened within it. Darius Brown at second base representing the tying run, and now Jana Quindo in the batter's box. Quindo, in only 20 ABs, already has 7 RBIs. The 0 pitch from Allwine, an off-speed taken away. And it's funny, I was talking to Jan, and he was talking about how he got an offer from Charleston Southern. One, he didn't really expect it from Charleston Southern because they're more of a single-doubles type of team. Quindo describes himself as a powerful hitter, but this season for Covington, he's been able to find hits in every part of the ballpark. Allwine misses away, it's 2-0. In fact, he has a single, double, and a triple in his limited time. He's still searching for his first home run. Home run here would put the Lumberjacks on top in the bottom of the fourth. Allwine looking to escape with the lead. The 2-0 pitch hit a mile high into center field. A couple steps back and then now in from Lantinus, and he's there. Darius Brown will bluff the tag. It goes into the cutoff man Maldonado Jr. A high second out here in the bottom of the fourth. Frankie Clark was the only man to reach in the first 9 times through. He ended up getting cut down at second base, making it 9 up, 9 down for Allwine. Chance to redeem himself here. Darius Brown at second base. 2 outs in the inning. Clark looking to tie this ball game up. The 0-0. Fastball that catches the outer edge for strike 1. Charlottesville leading 2-1. It was a run in the top of the second and a run in the top of the third. Lumberjacks have one back here in the bottom of the fourth. Would love to get the job done here. The 0-1 pitch to Clark. Grounded to the shortstop Maldonado Jr. Plays it on a hop. Throw to first base is in time. Head to the top of the fifth. Lumberjacks get one back. Charlottesville leads 2-1. Chase Jackson leads off in the top of the fifth as Tom Sox look to erase the run the Lumberjacks put up in the bottom of the fourth. Luke Richards still on the mound. As expected, he's pitching with nobody warming up in the Lumberjacks bullpen. Kind of add to that surprise. He's already at 75 pitches, so Luke Richards looking to be efficient here in the top of the fifth. Chase Jackson today is 0 for 1 with a walk. The 0-0 pitch. An off speed that misses low. Richards, when missing, has either been low or up and away. If he can rein in on that strike zone, I don't think the hits will bother him as much, as I think it's kind of been accepted today that the Tom Sox have been swinging the bat pretty well against him, but not well enough to isolate the runs. It's been the walks that have been doing the damage. Jackson swings and misses at a 1-0 fastball, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's pretty simple to say. In the last home game of the season, you always want to put up a win, but in addition, with everything that's going on today, what this game means for the community, I'd love to see the Lumberjacks make this a happy game and not just a somber one. That one's in there for strike 2 against Jackson. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Talked a little bit about the Workman Award and what that means for this community, but Tommy Garton, really the staple of the Covington Lumberjacks. The owner since 2011, passed away in 2024, and since then, every game that has been played has been with some meaning about the life of Tommy Garton. That pitch misses in the dirt to Chase Jackson. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. And something that I didn't expect, I understood a little bit about the impact that Tommy Garton had on the community, obviously being the owner of the Covington Lumberjacks, but something I did not expect is the impact that he's had on Coach Rennie Tolentino's life. When Coach Rennie arrived here in 2021, he said in an interview earlier today, actually, that Tommy was a big part of his life. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to Jackson, swing and a miss. Richards has his 5th strikeout and his 2nd in a row.
Strike 3. With 1 down, that brings us to bat. 9-4.
But it just also, it kind of explores how unique baseball is. For example, Coach Rennie Tolentino is a head coach / practically the recruiting general manager for the Lumberjacks, and he even did that in a role in the last 2 years without being the head coach. But in baseball, there's only so much you can do. There is a lot that is put on the players. As the OO to Lansness is low and away. As a coach, you really have to represent the number side and the name side rather than the teaching side, especially when it gets to the games. There's small teaching moments, but for the most part, all that happens in the offseason. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch to Lansness. Fouled straight back into the fencing. It's 1-1. Well, for Coach Tolentino, he talked about how Mr. Garton impacted his life from a business point of view. Really taught him how to kind of flush out the talking side of things and the business aspect. And in baseball, there's plenty of that. If you're ever around Coach Tolentino on a bus ride back from a baseball game, he's always talking about some player and not necessarily about what he did good or what he did bad, but how to help his career. Pitch misses inside to Tommy Lancis. It's 2-1. And he's all over the recruiting aspect to get players here, but also to get players to colleges. You'll realize that there's a decent amount of players on the Lumberjacks who are currently uncommitted, and Coach Tolentino's goal is to find a way to get those guys to a school. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch to Lansness is an off-speed that misses away. It's now 3-1. But again, to circle back, I'm sure if you ask Coach Tolentino, a lot of where he gets that from is from Tommy Garton. Chase Jackson struck out to lead off here in the top of the 5th. Tommy Lansness looking to reach base for the 2nd time in this 3-1 count. The pitch from Richards. Hit up in the air into center field. Darius Brown's range is slightly to his right. Underneath it, he'll make the catch for out number 2. Richards has not had a 1-2-3 inning since the 1st. Would love to see one here after the Lumberjacks put up 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Allow the bats to stay hot. It's Aiden Harris stepping into the batter's box. Harris today 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. Richards a long wait. The 0-0. Misses low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Harris on the season. .477 on base percentage. And a slug above 400 as well. Power and a keen eye. Richards today has been most effective when going at the batters. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Harris. Swing and a miss. Harris has been uncomfortable when trying to search out that low and inside pitch. Richards has got him to swing and miss a decent amount. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Tom Sox leads your Lumberjacks 2-1. Richards a long wait. Now the 1-1. Did Harris go? Yes, he did. 2 strikes now, as Harris couldn't hold back on an off-speed low and in the dirt. Harris struck out once in the top of the 3rd inning. Richards looking to do it again. If he gets a strikeout here, that's 4 strikeouts in his last 6 outs. From the stretch, the 1-2 pitch from Richards misses away. Harris has not been shy of a strikeout. With a strikeout in the top of the third, he's up to 19. Let's see if Richards can make it an even 20. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the 2-2 pitch, just swing and a miss. 6 strikeouts for Luke Richards. Head to the bottom of the 5th inning where the Lumberjacks search for another run. Looking to tie this ball game up. It's Charlottesville 2, Covington 1. Peter Crespo leads off here in the bottom of the 5th inning for the Lumberjacks. He gets a new arm in Chris Fortunato. Fortunato from Stevenson University. His first pitch to Crespo is a fastball that misses inside. Kind of curious to see why Allwine was pulled so early in this ball game. Today, Evan Allwine went 4 innings of 2-hit, 1-run baseball. It did seem that the Lumberjacks were getting to him in the bottom of the 4th, but with how good Allwine's been this season, it's definitely an early exit. 1-0 pitch to Crespo. Did he go? It's going to be a foul ball, probably off the knob of his bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Crespo today, fly out in the right field, and I'd say one of 3 swings today for the Lumberjacks that was about a foot away from being a home run. It just kind of hung up in the air, and the right fielder Bachman caught it right in front of the right field fence. Here's the 1-1 to Crespo. Swings and foul tips a fastball straight back. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Peter Crespo's story is a very enlightening one. He was a walk-on at Rider. He was a preferred walk-on after playing a couple of games at a community college or JUCO, one of the which, and got an offer from Rider to be a PFO and earned a starting spot. Hit 10 home runs as a freshman. 1-2 pitch to Crespo, hit hard in the left field. Coming in on it is Lucas Ream. He's there for out number 1. Crespo saw his role reduced a little bit in the most previous season for Rider, but he expects a lot out of himself and expects a larger role this season for Rider. Fortunato gets the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. Thomas Fratto steps in the batter's box. Fratto, a hard hit baseball. Lined out to center field his first time up. The 0 to Fratto. Swing and a miss at a pitch up in the zone. No balls, 1 strike. How Fratto's on a slow climb, getting all those stats up. He had a frustrating couple of games, or should I say 1 game against Culpeper where he went 0 for 3, but in reality, as the 0-1 from Fortunato misses inside, in reality, with Culpeper throwing position players in that ball game, I mentioned to him, I said, look, would you prefer to have a great game against position players than have a bad game against good arms? Or would you, sometimes you got to take the bad games where they're at. And that's not a bad spot to have a bad game. As the 1-1 to Fratto is taken away. And his best game of the season against Harrisonburg, nearly hit one out at JMU. Had an RBI double as well in that ball game. And since then, it just seems things have been clicking a little bit more for Thomas. 2 balls, 1 strike. Fortunato looking for his second out of the bullpen. And off-speed gets in the zone for strike 2. Fortunato on the season in 4 appearances and 9 innings. It's a 2 ERA. Batting average against at 1.25. He's been very effective for the Tom Sox. Here's the 2-2. Hit hard, fouled on the first base line. We'll do the 2-2 again. Me and Chris Fortunato actually share something in common. We were both born in Reston, Virginia. I wonder how long he lived there. I only lived in Reston for about a year of my life. So I obviously don't know much about Reston, but Fortunato and me both natives of Reston. The 2-2 pitch to Fratto, swing and a miss. Fortunato's got a strikeout, and out number 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. And he comes down to Jose Alfonso. Alfonso, who was on a tear at Culpeper, looking to keep it up here. Last thing you want is your starter to give you a 1-2-3 inning in the last half, and then you put up a 1-2-3 on the offensive side. Only need 1 run now. CLO pitch to Alfonso, misses away. Jose today flew out to right field. Came in this game with a 833 OPS. The 1-0 pitch to Alfonso. Another off-speed taken away. It's 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Fortunato going to make it a 1-2-3 inning in his first inning of work. From the windup, the 2-0 pitch. Fouled back into the netting. It's 2-1. Fortunato, only 4 hits in 9 innings of work. Only 2 earned runs as well. The walks and hits are even at 4. Fortunato is just deadly efficient. 2 balls, 1 strike. Alfonso looking to put a base runner on here and at least flip the order around for next inning with the 9-man on deck. The 2-1, taken away. 3 balls, 1 strike. Alfonso, 4 walks to 7 strikeouts. Doesn't have much of a strike zone to throw to as he's only around 5'7". Fortunato looking to find it here. The 3-1, taken for strike 2. Alfonso looking to work it into a walk by walking down the first base line, hoping the home plate umpire would agree with him, but unsurprisingly, that fastball was called a strike. So now a big pitch for Fortunato, looking to go 1-2-3 in his first inning of work. From the windup, here's the payoff pitch. Up and away, and Jose Alfonso has a walk. Alfonso's 5th walk of the season. Jose stolen 4 bases. But it also puts the Lumberjacks in prime position, if this inning ends right now, to do what they did in the bottom of the 4th and the bottom of the 6th. As now Dario Castillo is set to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning. But I won't get too ahead of myself. Jake Ambrosio steps in the batter's box. Ambrosio, like Alfonso, had a great game played at Culpeper, 2 for 3 with a home run. The 0 pitch to Ambrosio, taken low and away. Also have to mention that relievers are a tricky subject. Sometimes you see them come in and they look like they're going to be breezing, but it takes 1 bad pitch and all of a sudden they could be off. After a walk, Fortunato, a bad ball. Here's the 1-0. Missing in the same spot. It's now 2-0. Jose Alfonso at first base. Jake Ambrosio in the batter's box. Charlottesville leading 2-1. Alfonso hopping off the first base bag as Ambrosio fouls this one back. It's now 2 balls, 1 strike. And Alfonso looking to run early, and it's going to skip off of the glove of Jackson into short center field. Jose Alfonso surprises everybody, including myself. He timed up Fortunato absolutely perfectly. Fortunato stepped off a little bit too late. Alfonso would have been safe no matter what, but his throw went over the head of Jackson. Actually clipped off his glove, so Alfonso manages to get all the way to third base. I imagine that'll be a stolen base and then an error that allows Alfonso to get all the way to third. Unbelievable there from Alfonso. And now this at-bat's really important as Jake Ambrosio bats and a 2-1 count with a tying run at third. 2-1 pitch from Fortunato, swing and a miss. It's 2-2. It's got to be one of the fun parts about being a pitcher. You can make a mistake like that, but if you have 2 outs, it might not matter. Fortunato could still walk off the mound feeling pretty satisfied. Ambrosio looking to not let that happen. The 2-2 pitch, and to just stay on a high off speed and foul it back into the netting. It's 2-2. That doesn't describe the type of player Alfonso is, and I don't know what does. Left early, timed up Fortunato perfectly, just knew when to go. And then by the time Fortunato stepped off, he was already safe, and the throw sails on him. Ambrosio looking to score Alfonso now. The 2-2, taken upstairs, it's a full count. Ambrosio's been a great battler this season, and plenty of at-bats like this. For Ambrosio, he's looking for a big moment. An opportunity to tie this ball game up. Fortunato looking to escape with no damage done. Here's the full count. Pitch lined into center field. Coming in on it's the center fielder, Lansness. He makes a diving grab. Do or die by Tommy Lansness. Coming in on that baseball, diving, sticking out his glove, and somehow making the grab. Jose Alfonso stranded at third base. Head of the top of the 6th. Charlottesville leads 2-1. Luke Richards back on the mound for the top of the 6th inning. Richards at 90 pitches, but he earned himself another inning of work with 2 strikeouts and a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 5th. Fans, this is a quick reminder. In the 7th inning, in the middle of the 7th, we'll be doing a remembrance of Tommy Garton, a moment of silence. I will not be on the mic, but we'll listen into the PA announcer, Romy, here to talk about what Tommy has done for this community. So in the middle of the 7th inning, please make sure you stick around and listen to the words that we have to offer in remembrance of the wonderful Tommy Garton. Luke Richards gets 5, 6, 7 here in the top of the 6th inning. Brandon Bachman leads off here. In the top of the 6th, Bachman today has reached both times. An error and a walk has allowed him to do that. Hasn't scored a run. It's his first time leading off in today's ball game. Richards was efficient last inning because he stayed in the strike zone. So pitch to Bachman. Went inside, 1 ball, no strikes. On those strikes to Bachman. Bachman now 10 walks on the season. Richards going to make it 7 strikeouts as Bachman has 6. Here's the 1-0. Grounded to the third baseman Clark. Has to play it at his feet. Throw to first is high. Frado skying. Did he get the tag down? No, he didn't. It'll be Clark's 2nd error of the ball game. Braden Bachman reaches for an error also for the 2nd time today. I'd describe that as an adrenaline throw as Clark kind of got panicky as that ball chopped down to his feet as Clark had his glove up. He did a good job to put a glove on it, but with everything moving so quickly, he just tried to fire over there as quick as he could, but had a little bit too much air underneath it. So leadoff error allows Braden Bachman to reach. Now Luke Craddock in the batter's box. First pitch to Craddock, fouled back into the netting. Craddock today, a 6-4-3 double play. Gonna pop out to the first baseman, Fratto. I'll tell you what, Richards will be pretty pumped up if he can get another double play here. For Richards today, it's been primarily strikeout or ground out. Only 2 flyouts for the Tom Sox side. The 0-1 to Craddock is off at first base as Bachman. The throw is going to go into center field. Bachman sees it, but he reads it a little bit too late. Stolen base for Braden Bachman. Just like that, the double play is out of order. It's a similar story in the top of the 4th for Luke Richards.